Hello everyone, I am Vivek and I welcome you to the third episode of Vidya Manthan Season 2. This series is organized by Authority Solutions and Punekar News. In today's episode, we will discuss about Education 2025, Future of Learning and Teaching. So we all are aware that COVID-19 pandemic has seriously upended the education system. Along with the shift from classroom to computer screens, almost all aspects of learning are being tested. Format of instruction, attendance, evaluation, the role of technology, and human interaction are all being reimagined, and there is a growing possibility that some of these changes will last forever. The prolonged closure of schools and colleges has also highlighted some underlying vulnerabilities in the education system, and as the various stakeholders strive to address the challenges and plug the gap, education, as we know, is going to change forever. Let's try to find out how learning and teaching will be in near future. To discuss on this topic, we have three guests with us. First, we have Mrs. Gunjan Srivastava, Principal of Orbis School, Mundwa. Ma'am has earned MSc, B.Ed degrees. She's been associated with Orbis for 8 years now, and she has total experience of 21 years in the education field. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Vivek. Pleasure is mine.
Next, we have Mrs. Gursimran Kaur, Principal of Vidya Rai School, Chinswad. She has earned degrees of B.Ed, M.A., M.Ed, MSc, MS, and PTC certification. Ma'am has been into the field of education since past 26 years. Ma'am is also Joint Secretary of CBSE Sahodaya Center. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. We are glad to have you with us here for this talk.
Thank you very much. A very good evening to all of you, all the viewers. Thank you, Vivek, for this introduction.
We also have with us Mrs. Vandana Kharad, Principal of JSPM's Blossom Public School and Junior College, New Campus, Narhe. Ma'am holds MA, B.Ed, and DSM degrees. She has 26 plus years of experience in the field of education. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you could join us for this talk.
Thank you, Vivek. It's really very glad to be amongst you all today, the panelists and the viewers. It's my pleasure to be here today. Thank you once again.
So let's start with the discussion. Gursimran ma'am, I'll start with you. So as we know that COVID-19 pandemic has blurred the line between home and school in unprecedented ways. So how will it impact the future education when things unlock, when actually students will be allowed to come to school? Gursimran ma'am.
Oh, I am assuming the students are going to be very, very happy to be back. That is one thing for sure, because being at home, they have missed the school, they have missed the teachers, and most of all, they have missed their friends. So for that matter, if you would think about, pre-primary students, there are a few students who haven't even stepped into the school for that matter. And already a year of online teaching has, taken place for them. And I'm anticipating there is going to be a lot of love which everyone has for the school, but now since they have been at home, it's going to be even more once they come back to school. So that is what I am anticipating, and I'm eagerly waiting for my students to come back to school. That is for sure. Not only teachers, not only students, but even the teachers. The connect between the students and the teachers is missed the most during this pandemic, because it is just online sessions one after the other. So there is no hug, there is no kiss, there is no pat on the back, except for those emojis that say thumbs up and clap and I love you with a little heart or something like this. But that physical touch is definitely missing for all of us, and waiting to get back. Thank you, Vivek.
Definitely, ma'am. So now I'll come to Vandana ma'am. what do you think will be the long-lasting impact of this unblurred line?
That it will be a massive impact on this education sector, because we had witnessed this period which we have never thought of and we have never imagined that, and this pandemic is like, it's very uncertain. Still, we do not know when the schools will start. So definitely, it will be a massive impact on the education sector because we'll have to cater so many things. Of course, as Gursimran ma'am said, that we are very eager to welcome the children back to the school. But down the line, we have to take care of the other things also, the social, emotional aspects of the children, and too many things like now in this. Pandemic, the children are used to this online, so bringing them back, I won't say that the traditional way of teaching, but of course it will be a blended kind of, and the impact, uh, I think that we need to come up with certain modules to face when the children will be coming back, and we have to accelerate the learning as well. So I do think that yes, we would be very happy and very eager to greet our children and to receive them back. Of course, we are missing that face-to-face interaction and the communication because the child is very safe. We are not only the educators and the facilitators, but the teachers are guide to the children. They are the mentors, and the children look upon the teachers as an inspiration. So we are missing all that. But when the children will be back, we have to work very hard, and it will change everything. I mean, the classroom teaching, the online, it will be a blended thing, no doubt. But then again, bringing the children back into the stream would be a big challenge for all the educators, I suppose. So we have to be ready with, there it's going to be a task of uphill for all of us, so we should be ready for that.
Definitely, ma'am. Like, of course, the emotional and social angle has been missing during
Yes,
the complete online time, even though education is
right.
carried upon, but not completely. So, Gunjan,
Hmm.
ma'am, I'll come to you. What are your viewpoints on this? Ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
Sorry.
Please go ahead, ma'am.
So actually, Vivek, as a teacher, I've taken a lot of pride always when I would say that my teachers and students feel that school is home away from home. And now the school had reached home. So in this 14 months time, 15 months time, what I have felt is a very pleasant bonding with our partners, our parents. We've had a lot of support from our parents' fraternity. And these long-lasting associations, I think, will carry on even once, children come back to school. So, when parents and us work together, it definitely is going to help in bringing out the best potential in a child. The parents, us, and the whole community has understood that the learning is beyond the four walls of the school also. So, this asynchronous method of teaching has also come up in big way for us teachers and for parents to support us there. So this balance of synchronous and asynchronous teaching and learning will definitely continue in the coming years also. And this kind of a blend will surely help us to ameliorate the standards of our teaching at school. So I think it's going to be a very happy time, and we are prepared to handle those situations also. Yeah.
Definitely, ma'am, we want schools blooming. But again, here arises a question that what will be the major challenges when we reopen the school like before? Gunjan, ma'am, I'll continue with you only. So, what do you think the major challenges when we reopen the school?
So when we say reopen, I would say we will not reopen, we will reinvent ourselves in a way, Schools will be a little different from what they used to be. Of course, the curriculum remains the same and the learning outcomes may also be the same. But as was rightly said by Vandana ma'am, we will have to look at, the socio-emotional health of the children. There will be a lot of counselors' job in schools to be with
Yes.
the children, to handhold them. And in fact, why only counselors? It's already time that we teachers get ourselves trained, because we will have to step into counselors' shoes every day in and day out. So that would be one of the major changes that the schools will face. Then, like Gursimran ma'am said, that some of the pre-primary children have not even seen the school, and especially these children and the lower primary children, for them to come back will be starting from scratch. So what we would need to do is to help them socialize with the social distancing norms. The safety of the children now is different. I mean, it is also in terms of distance. So yeah, it's going to be a humongous task. And with all of this, what we've done in the past 1 year is good teaching. I mean, hats off to all the teachers across the globe who have been working so hard and have got themselves, digitally literate, and made something like this happen, which couldn't have been dreamt of. But the matter of fact still remains that we've done a good teaching, but how much of learning has happened at the other end will need to be analyzed, and then the gap will need to be bridged. So definitely there is a lot of work for all of us teachers, and especially in areas like where some of the children may have migrated back to their hometowns. There may be dropouts, there may be new students. So teachers would need to be very, very empathetic. Along with that, they have to have patience, have bridge courses designed in such a way that they are able to get across the children, along with the continuity of learning that is required in that particular age level. So yeah, humongous task for all of us.
Right, ma'am, but definitely we'll be able to do it as we have
Surely.
carried this 1.5 years so properly. Gursimran ma'am, your say on this. What will be the major challenges when we reopen the school?
Gunjan ma'am has stated most of the challenges that we are about to face. But let us look at things very, very positively, because once we get back, the emotional quotient, I think, of the students is definitely going to be taken care of. Will all the love and care that the teachers are all equipped, you know? And of course, this pandemic has taught us new ways of learning, and the blended approach is definitely going to be there to help the students into understanding better, learning better, with better outcomes, I feel. And see, we have to overcome everything that may or may not come. Things may just slide past us in such a manner that we will be able to overcome them so beautifully, like we did in this pandemic. I have known of instances where I have observed nursery and junior KG and senior KG students behaving so well on the virtual platform as if they were born with it. So imagine, when the things are going to get better and better, things will move in a very, very positive kind of a manner. And all the stakeholders, whether it is the management, students, parents, society, community, we have already developed a very good bonding with one another because of this situation. And this situation is definitely going to help us overcome any kind of problems that we will, God forbid, that we will have to overcome. And during those times, we will take one step at a time when required, or jump many mountains as and when the things come. I'm sure about that. Yes, there will be certain, things in the minds of the parents, whether we should be sending our children or whether we should be continuing and all. And that is going to become a very big challenge for the schools, because we will have two kind of people to cater to. One
Yes.
who are willing to send the students, and the others who are probably too scared and don't want to send their children. Another very big problem may arise, especially when the physical school reopens, because there are many, many students who have migrated to their hometowns. So again, coming back, settling down, new environment, these are the problems which we are going to face, but I'm sure we will sail through this also. So this is not going to be so difficult. If we were able to overcome this time, that is going to be even more better. So I am very, very hopeful, very eager, very positive that once we reopen, things are all going to fall into our lap as if it was meant to be there, kind of a thing. So that's what I feel.
Definitely,
Thank you.
ma'am. Definitely. We firmly believe and we will try our best to achieve a smooth transition from the new normal to the old normal for sure. Vandana, ma'am, your say on this.
Yes, the last few months, I would say more than a year, has have been unprecedented, and we have the schools were shut for a long time, due to this COVID. But see, yes, that the teachers, so Corona warriors, what we call our teachers as well. So almost everything was locked down, and the schools was still, there was no lockdown for the schools. Online teaching, online coaching was happening very effectively. The teachers, it was a very difficult time for the teachers to jump from, offline to online. It was a very big shift. They shifted, and really hats off to all the teachers. I really congratulate for all, the education fraternity, what efforts they are putting to make the online coaching effectively. So what, as Guru Simran ma'am had already said this, yes, we are all set with all our arms open to welcome the children. Of course, there are going to be a few challenges which we need to overcome. And yes, with this time passed, though it was a tiring time for all of us. We have taken a very big leap into this way of what we have never thought of. Okay, yes, we were asking the children to stay away from these gadgets, but now we are asking them to be with it continuously for hours, right? So I am with these two beautiful principles who are, very positive, that yes, we are ready to and we will overcome with all the challenges. What, yes, I told you that we have to come up with certain modules, we have to be very comprehensive in planning our pedagogy and planning our curricula. And of course, that as Gaur ma'am had said, that there would be a problem of the migrants. So we have to cater them, we have to make them settle. And, in every family, we have seen that one or the other, relative of them, the family, or any kind of depression, such as death in the family. So it is a huge loss, So we have to have some kind of bonding with the families of teachers as well as with our stakeholders, and comfort them, bring them into the what I say, a family. Of course, it's a family, but now we are very far, like, very rare we happen to see the children, especially the principals, because it's very difficult for us to monitor the online coaching. But then too, the teachers are in touch with these children, and yes, we are with them. Thanks to the parents, our parents have been very supportive throughout this time. So along with the parents and the students, we can overcome the challenges. When we did this, of course, we are going to overcome all this.
Definitely, ma'am. So, Vandana, ma'am, I'll continue with you only. So, till now, the digital tools that we were using, how much role these tools will continue to play when we actually reopen post-pandemic?
We have to be with it. It's going to everlast, I would say, because now we all are used to it. And see, keeping a pace with the technology, we have to go with this. Like, there might be, now we are even assessing the children. We are, at the early, maybe in the last year, April or March, when we began with this online coaching immediately after the lockdown was declared. It was very difficult for all of us, to get into this technology and make it as a part of a life, as a part of our daily coaching with the students. But we could do it. Yes, it is definitely going to be forever. I feel that there won't be, it would be a blended, as I said, because somewhere, see, every coin has two sides, right? So advantages, disadvantages. We have to be very judicious when we use this technology. We have to train our kids, our teachers to use it in a proper manner. And everything that the whole year, we were into it. And of course, we are going to be with this technology. It is going to have a very, far reaching out effect on our education. So I don't think that, yes, it is going to be continued. It is. Maybe we will be coming up with many more, because earlier it was only restricted to few, what do you say, that yes, for the PPTs or for videos and all that. But yes, if we, come up with certain planning of the uses and how to overcome, there might be a lot of difficulties, like to adjust the online courses or the online coaching, like data privacy is there, then the connectivity error, too many things. So if we work on properly of all these issues, I don't think that there would be any problem in going on with this technology, as long as, I don't know what, maybe robots are going to play their roles in the coming time. Actually, we everything, it's what all is hidden in the future, we really don't know. But of course, yes, it will continue. Yes.
Definitely, ma'am. But I'm 100% sure our teachers and their emotional touch in the education will never be replaced. To whatever the technology may reach up,
Yes.
teachers will not be replaced. Gunjan, ma'am, what is your take on this? To what extent will continue using the technology? Same way.
So I feel that blended learning and hybrid learning is the way forward. So when we speak about blended learning, our children will be back in school and we will be working both online and offline. So yes, more the physical hours at school will increase. We might have to reduce our online hours there. But this pandemic has taught us one beautiful, concept of this kind of teaching, the online teaching. And we have seen that technology that assists a teacher helps her in many, many ways. And one being, that the child can learn at his own pace. So if we say that once the school will open up, we may not need these tools and they will become obsolete and like we will be back to normal. So whenever we have taught anything new or learned anything new, it has always been there to stay and not to be forgotten. And now we have learned the whole new world of online teaching. And this new learning, we are no ways going to let it go in vain. We will blend it with our old teaching, and that would only help us to make our teaching learning better at school. So as I said, that yes, these tools and many more tools may be required now, because now it's going to be hybrid. Now it's going to be a blending of all kinds of learning. And we have already entered into futuristic learning now. So there's no looking back, and we may need many more tools. You never know.
Definitely, ma'am. We have reshaped the way of conducting education using the traditional method along with the use of technology. So this will continue. Good, Simran, ma'am. Your say, please.
Well, to sum it up, I would like to first start by reiterating that the teachers are never going to be replaced. Come what may, whatever the say may be with digital learning, with everything, the digital tools will only assist the teacher to do better and better. That is for sure. So, teachers, all those who are here, be rest assured, these are only tools, you cannot be replaced. Your love, affection, and your expertise. Let us come to this. When the pandemic came, all of a sudden, everyone had to be on the virtual platform. And the teachers, I believe, were the biggest warriors who took on the digital tool overnight and plunged into it regardless of the age of the teacher. There had been teachers in the system who had worked for 20, 25 years and who took it upon them as a challenge to take this forward and did it better and better. Regardless of the learning, sometimes they were even learning from the students how to go about it. So that was the most beautiful experience for everyone, I must say. And digital learning is the way forward. You're going to use it in the classroom, you're going to use it offline in a blended kind of a manner, in a hybrid kind of a manner, wherein teachers are going to rule the kingdom of teaching using these digital tools, and कोई शर्म नहीं रह गई अब. The teacher is well equipped and ready to try on more and more. And I'm sure the new way, the new students, the new engineers, the new animation technicians, and everyone is only going to collaborate and give us better and better stuff to enrich our students for better understanding. Not only as a tool by the teacher, but as a learning tool by the student also. Myself can learn at my own pace is something which is going to be possible using this digital tool. Very much possible now. So that is something which is definitely going to help every child. When we talk about, we want to help every student in the class, this is how we are going to be able to do it. And every parent, every child, every teacher is going to be able to fulfill each one's dream. A parent's dream of the child doing beautifully, a child's dream of he himself or herself doing wonderfully well, and the teacher's satisfaction. I am a teacher myself. A teacher's satisfaction that I have been able to help each and every student in my class. And if this digital tool is going to be used by the teacher, if I'm saying it if, but I'm sure everyone is going to do it, it is going to be a boon for every child. The whole, situation, the whole society is going to evolve around this digital learning. And as we go forward, we are going to be happy to have everything on our screens. Yes. Thank you.
Definitely, ma'am. And, we all must salute all our teachers who did not leave any stone unturned to ensure that the learning continues. That is never hampered, irrespective of to what level of, problems, limitations that may arise. We must.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Gursimran ma'am, I'll continue with you only.
Sure.
So we could observe that during this new normal, that is digital online education, deeper collaboration was observed between parents, children, and school, because parents had to ensure that learning is happening.
True, very true.
How will this play a role in shaping the future education?
Earlier, as I might say, before the pandemic, the parent left the child in the school and came back to pick up the child only. And then whatever time was permitted, depending on that, a few questions were asked at the end of the day. Today, a parent and a student, a child, is almost sitting together doing the learning. Okay? So the parent also understands how much my child needs to pay attention. How can I help so that my child can understand better? The parent can also see the competition that is happening on the screen with a few smarter ones, giving the answers very quickly, but a few laid back ones still taking time. But then we have to keep encouraging our parents that no, if your child has not answered today, it doesn't mean will not be able to answer tomorrow. So with the encouragement, the parent and the student are walking hand in hand along with the teacher, and that is the triangular support that we have always wanted for our children, which probably was not available because of many other reasons, but today it is available. The parent understands what is it that my child requires. The teacher understands better. Oh, these 5, 7, 8, 15 children can do it. These 5 require a little more. And learning is becoming better, I feel, because the parent is around to help the child. Now, this helping needs to continue. That is also very, very important, because once the child understands how to use the gadgets, it doesn't mean it is the end all, because there are going to be newer things that the child and the parent will learn together along with the teachers. So at this platform, all 3 are learners, and that is the biggest blessing, because what happens is sometimes you learn better with a friend than with someone who stands on a pedestal. That is the teacher. So here everyone is learning together with one another, and that makes all the difference. So this is what I feel, and that is definitely going to help the student and the parent and the teacher to do better and better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Vandana, ma'am, I would like to have your say on this, the deeper collaboration and its impact in the future education.
I would say that this is a revolutionary change that I have seen. That the parents are too much involved in it. It's really very. It's a positive sign, which we actually, for years we wanted this to happen, but thanks to Corona, at least for this, I would thank to this COVID-19. Yes, there is a lot of involvement of the parents, and the parents sitting with the children. It really made a big difference. They understood what the syllabus is going on, what the teacher is doing, and the parents are, they are showing a lot of interest in the child study. Otherwise, previously, only on the open house or open day, the parents used to drop in just to see the marks. That's it. Sometimes they used to even scold in front of the teachers to their kids. But now the situation is really, and my teachers are really enjoying the parents sitting with the kids and taking up these lessons. And parents are helping the children in making up some projects, which we do it live. We involve the parents also in some of the projects or some of the activities. So we are very happy to see this. And we would, I can use this platform and ask my parents, it's a request, parents, please continue the same kind of involvement in your child's education, and do support the institution with your valuable. You had been always very cooperative. The parents have always been, because we believe in open door policy, there's a open communication always. But this is really amazing to find out that yes, the parents are so much into the studies of the children. And the younger generation of yours, Vivek, I would say, okay, this even I could see in my own family, that yes, how much my children are into their children's academic. Before, this was never seen. Only a handful of parents were very much interested in the child's progress, and now the parents are talking beyond the marks. They are talking about various competencies. They are talking about the hybrid education, what we are talking about, and even the competencies, or they are also coming up with different ideas, and they're sharing with us, okay, yes, this is a thing which, if you can blend it into this of your any of this content, and it will give us a very good result. So thanks. Yes, as I already said, that I'm very thankful to each one of my parent who is really showing tremendous interest in the child's progress. Do keep on the same thing. It's keep on doing the same. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank
Definitely
you.
that will leave a longer impact. And now that is the true meaning of education. Earlier, just for the marks they used to study,
Absolutely.
but now parents are understanding. Gunjan,
Yes.
ma'am, your take on this, please.
So yeah, in our school, we have this policy. We are teachers. We are just guide by the side. So, we've always encouraged children to do things on their own. And when they do it on their own, of course, they are researchers. They go back home. They ask parents. So that's how our children grow. So, like rightly said, the three vertices of a triangle, like one is parents and students and school, work together to make it happen. The equation wouldn't have been complete if even one of the vertex would fall off. So there has always been support, but the kind of involvement that happened during the pandemic actually has helped the schools a lot. Help the schools in a way where they may not have assisted the child to study because he was doing self-studies and was guided by the teachers, but there was a lot of appreciation that teachers got from the parents. So actually we became very, very, transparent. And now it was also a time for people to peep in and see what goes inside a classroom. So actually, the competitiveness that was there always amongst the young parents for their children turned into appreciation for other children. And now it is like working together and learning from each other. So I think this has helped us a lot that our parents supported us in this way. That one, of course, the entire, learning had to be revamped, and they had to create a small little conducive space for the child where he could study and be comfortable with the school being at home. Along with that, the support that was required came from them, and this support is definitely going to be with us, I think, for a long time now, as I said before also, because now they can also in some way relate to us. They can see what's happening in class and the effort that is being put in by the teacher that has actually reached the parent. So in fact, all the complaints that we used to have on our PTMs have reduced now because they are live audience there. They know what's happening. So with all our efforts, whatever we are able to reach to our children, if there is any feedback that has to come, has only been very, very positive feedback from our parents, and I'm very, very happy about it. And this kind of a collaboration, this support has motivated the teachers to even perform better. So yes, it's been a beautiful bonding, and it is there to stay. And I'm sure they will also enjoy carrying it forward, because ultimately all of us are working for our children, and we want the best potential of a child to be reached and highlighted. Yes.
Definitely, ma'am, a win-win situation for all the stakeholders in the child's education, because they could actually empathize on how it is done. So I'll continue with
Right.
you only, Gunjan ma'am, that we being in tier one city could not see the impact to that extent, but we have also seen the major hurdles like digital divide among students, teachers' limitation in being tech savvy, and many other factors which impacted the digital education. So in future, we know that it is going to be the blended learning. It will not be the traditional way, or it will not be just the digital one. It will be the blended way of learning. So how are we going to tackle these issues? The digital divide, teachers limitations in teachers being tech savvy, and other things. I'm talking about the general person.
Correct. I understand that although some of the schools were able to survive, and right from day one, they plunged into it and they just took to it as fish takes to water. But there were limitations, there were network issues, there were remote areas where the internet was not possible, and there's been a huge divide there. It was an economic divide, it was a usability divide also. So economic divide, where people were not able to afford the devices, and there have been of course also cases where even a mobile phone was not available to many at home. So there, I think a a lot of work has been already done, and there have been programs such as which government has also implemented of teaching online through televisions and through transistors, radios, and stuff. But what has happened is that there has been a gap, and we agree to that there has been a gap, which will still need to be bridged. And we will have to look at it once the schools reopen physically. And then at least now we know the way forward. So we know that how to cope with this kind of a situation. So all that we can do is make it a little better, make some devices which are not so expensive and yet reachable to children and affordable by the parents. We can look at that. Then if we look at the usability divide, so as far as our children are concerned and this generation is concerned, I think parents didn't have to do much. And I have seen even in my own house where the younger children, our children, they are able to handle technology much better than any of us do. I call myself dinosaur in the age of technology, and they just take it up. A mobile comes and they are able to boot it, and they're able to start the stuff and download softwares and all. So children will be able to do it. That will not be a problem. As far as teachers are concerned, I think it is time that all boards across government schools or maybe private schools, all of us need to work upon teacher training. And digital literacy is the only way, to help our teachers to be best equipped to teach the children in this futuristic model of education. So we will have to take up those programs, and we will have to reach out to the remotest of village and make sure that our teachers across the boards, across the states, are digitally literate. So that will make a difference.
Definitely, ma'am. There were hurdles, but we are trying to overcome, and so we have succeeded a lot in that, and eventually we will be able to overcome all that. Gursimran, ma'am, your take on this?
Like Gunjan ma'am already stated, there has to be a lot of government initiations, first of all. And I'm sure our country is well equipped. बस बोलने की देर है. The CSR activities done by the factories and industries, which is a compulsory thing, I'm sure they will go all out and help out where it is going to be required. Like I already said, bolne ki der. If this was possible in the pandemic, this teaching learning was possible, I'm sure going forward also everything is going to be possible. Teaching the teachers and equipping them with the digital resource is the need of the hour. If we change our way of teaching our teachers, our students are going to definitely be blessed. That is for sure. Reaching the remotest corner of the village is the need of the hour. And with all kind of activities that are initiated by the government, we definitely will be able to make sure that every child in the country is educated. Now, with so many kind of initiations already by the government, change in patterns, change in across boards, across all the boards, whether it is a state board or a CBSE board or an ICSE board, I mean, everyone has evolved. And this thing is going to become very, very inevitable. It has to come, it will come, and it definitely needs to come. So it is going forward. How do we do it? How do we equip? And I like that pattern, teach one. So if all of us just take it upon ourselves that I teach my own and I teach one, I handhold one another person, I think this pattern is going to help India emerge as a wonder very soon. I know I'm sounding extremely positive about it, but I am also very hopeful that this is a possibility. कुछ नहीं होगा तो लंगर लगा देंगे digital resources का. That I am very confident about. So this is what we all can do. And we only need to reach out. How many we can reach out? That is, I remember at this point of time, 12 years ago, we had that idea ad, where the mobile phones were used. Were used for the villages. Today, we are already doing it. So who's going to stop us? Who is really going to stop us? We are definitely going to move forward. There are going to be hindrances, there are going to be obstacles, but we Indians are known for going over every obstacle. So we will have to reach out, and possibly like 2025, we will be able to overcome this beautifully. We will be able to definitely reach out. It is only each one, not only for themselves, but additional one. If we take this up really, we will be able to do it. And with the online classes now, and with those students that the government is insisting upon, all the aided schools or recognized schools to take on those 25% of children and educate them and things like this, things are definitely moving in the right perspective. All schools are doing it. Many schools are also very keen on making sure that not only these students which are ours, but those 25%, imagine if the circle and the chain just goes around, it is definitely going to be overcome very, very soon. It is a challenge, but there are endless opportunities. I would also say there are so many students who are still learning and teaching online just for the love of it. So this definitely is going to help, and this will have to be taken forward not just by you and I, but by everyone together. And once we take this pledge forward, we will definitely be able to overcome any obstacle that comes up. Any hurdle is not going to be a hurdle for any of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such a beautiful message, ma'am. Yes, and I appeal all the audiences that I support, I pledge, and I endorse the motto of Teach One. And then we'll definitely be able to tackle the gap that has been created due to this pandemic in the education sector. Vandana, ma'am, your take on this.
Yes, Vivek, there's no second thought that yes, there was a loss of learning due to some disruption in the due to this COVID. But as Guru Simran ma'am had already said that yes, we all are very optimistic that yes, to bridge up the gap and all, we are finding out different ways and methods to reach out to the students, even to the remotest. So if the child, what we had done it in our school, if any of our children, due to the low bandwidth or the connectivity error, if the child misses out at lessons, what we have done, we have created videos, we had made videos, and those videos were sent on WhatsApp. So what we teachers are doing, that we are finding out different ways and methods to reach out to the children. And yes, like I really appreciate what she said, that we have to teach. So it's really, I mean, obstacles are going to be there in whichever field, whichever way, whichever thing, whatever you do. Of course, there are going to be a lot of hindrances, but then we are made to overcome all that. And yes, that as ma'am said, due to this, there was an ad of Reliance long back, that Kar lo duniya muthi mein. And we, the educators, the facilitators, we are here to, to do that. And this pandemic has taught us lots of things which we can't even think of, and we have never dreamt of. But yes, still we are there very strongly. We are standing and continuing with the learning, and making sure that every child is benefited, and that too in an effective way. We are trying that none of the students should be deprived of education. So as she said that earlier it was 2G, 3G. Now what we are listening, and we are coming up with 5G and all that. Of course, now what the people have done is that the stakeholders, they have stopped the school fees, but they bought the gadgets for the students. This is really very appreciable. Yes. So it is reaching out to the every hook and corner of the society, that yes, this is very important, and we are getting the support from our stakeholders as well. So we are optimistic, as I said, and we will move ahead with leaving no stone unturned in reaching out the children and bridging up the gap of what the learning loss had happened in this pandemic. Thank you.
Definitely, ma'am. All three answers I would like to summarize. I could recall two lines of a poem कि लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती और कोशिश करने
Exactly.
वालों की कभी
कभी
हार
हार
नहीं
नहीं.
होती.
Yes.
So
And we are
try.
made for that. We are really made for that. So कोशिश करना तो नहीं, we are, and trying out trying to find out different ways and means to overcome this. So of course it is going to take some time, because revolution never happens in a day or two. It definitely going to take time, and we together we will do that.
We are certain, ma'am.
Yes.
So I'll continue with you only. Like, how the
Okay,
trend
sure.
has changed. Evaluation had been one of the key agendas for education, always, when we see.
Yes.
But due to pandemic, traditional way of evaluation is disrupted and new ways of evaluation has emerged. So where do we see this trend going and how this will impact the future way of learning?
I would say yes, assessment, or what we call as evaluation. It has to happen in a right manner, which is a very important or integral component of the education system. The child has to be, because then only he can jump from one class to another. But yes, this had also, initially we thought that it would be very difficult, but somewhere we felt that yes, the children, we have only taken up with the MCQs or short answers, this kind of assessment. It is going to be carried forward also, but somewhere this is my personal opinion, I feel that the children somewhere are leaving the habit of writing. So what we have done in our school, like the children who are not able to come and appear for the offline exams, when the schools were unlocked for some months, especially for the higher grades. So for them, we have conducted the online exams, and those were descriptive. Subjective and objective, and we were very happy to see that the teachers, they came up with certain things, and of course the parents who had really helped us, the engineers and the people who are working with ITs and all. So they came up, we had a briefing session with them, a few meetings were conducted, and they gave a certain solution, and we could do that. So there is also a kind of like you see that some group of students, they might cheating, what we call they try to find out the easy way to get the success. So that also we could were able to monitor that also. So yes, that this MCQ or online assessment or the evaluation is happening, it has to go, but I feel that there should be some more modules coming up with this, and there should be some LMS, certain companies or maybe some groups of institutions can come up with certain modules, so which would be very helpful in the online as well as offline assessment. Offline, there's no problem at all, but at the same time we have to see that we are moving ahead with this technology, and we have to, there's no way out, we have to go with this, right? But still somewhere this writing practice, the child has to write, because the lucrative handwriting and that really impacts the personality of a person, and we are very much into it as educators, that we want our children to improve their handwriting, they should write. So we have dictation kind of thing, and this, so also this assessment or the evaluation, somewhere we feel that there has to be a blend of it. We have to, again, I'm saying that we have to come up with certain modules, and there has to be some uh, modules in this digital modules tools also, which would be very helpful for us. This is what from my side. Yes.
Definitely, ma'am. Like proctoring and other things needs to be done. Otherwise, children are definitely finding the easy way out. So, Gunjan,
Yeah, they,
ma'am,
you know.
your say on this.
So, right, as far as the assessments are concerned, I think throughout the online teaching also, we were able to do whatever we were doing offline, whether it be subjective or it be objective. All of those objectives were achieved, and children were turning in their work, and it was being annotated and everything. But basically, it was not about just assessment. Now, it's high time, something that we've been trying to implement for a very, very long time. We got an opportunity this year to do it. And I believe that the new education policy is also talking about it. So it was just the right time, maybe, for us to begin. So we've been insisting upon open book tests and, invigilator free examination. And we have spoken about so many other aspects like higher order thinking questions. So this was the time when we implemented all of that. We were doing it in bits and pieces every year, maybe sometimes in our only in our half yearlies, or maybe in our the PTs that we have, terminal exams. But this year we got this opportunity to make our question paper differently. It was a blend of, you can say, higher order thinking questions. There were a lot of case studies. So there were so many things that even if a child wanted to, would not have been able to use an unfair means, so to say, to answer the question. And personally, I feel, and I think the teachers will agree with me, that even if a child reads from somewhere and writes, that is an achievement for us, that at least that day he at least read it. So whatever values that have been inculcated in our children, so this was one test, a litmus for all of that this year, that they be fair and they do their work as is desired by the teacher. Two, we always trusted our children, and this year also, I would like to believe that whatever marks they have got is their own effort that they had put in. And three, it is an opportunity that we took, and we will like to, continue with it, where the lowest model of Bloom's taxonomy, which is like memorization. So we have come out of rote learning, and we have reached analyzing and comprehending and, looking at the question and then finally creating something which is their answer or their research. So I believe that, yes, assessments have changed, and this was just the right time to bring in the change. And now that we have broken free from the rote learning and just answering the question and, just learning it up or mugging it up. So it's high time that our children take on to these higher order thinking questions. And this way, definitely we will achieve those goals of critical thinking and problem solving, which is ultimately, what we want our children to do. So as they say that the proof of the pudding is in its eating. So finally, if our children are problem solvers and critical thinkers, and they are able to manage their life well, that is what is an educationist's dream. So I think it has been a beautiful change, and it is there to stay.
Definitely, ma'am. The new angle of assessment is the right angle of evaluation. We totally agree to this. From lateral approach to this analytical and logical approach that will work in a much efficient way. Gursimran, ma'am, your say on this.
To begin with, I would like to say that since the teaching learning process has changed, so will the evaluation. I would also like to say that the Vibgyor schools have done a fantastic job as far as evaluations and assessments are concerned. Now we are not only trying to understand and analyze rote learning and memorization. What we are trying to assess is concepts, whether the concepts have been understood well, whether they have been applied well, and whether the child is also able to use it in different kind of learning experientially. That is most important. Schools are slowly going towards competitive style of assessments. You see so many competitive exams where they are checking the skills of students by memorization. It is all applied knowledge. So schools have started doing that finally, and very, very happy about it, because now we are actually trying to understand whether the child has understood really well what he has learned. Not only testing the memorization of the child, the rote learning of the child, but the analyzing skills, whether the concepts are clear, whether the concepts can be applied to new learning. So that is the most important thing, and that we are achieving. Of course, the tools that will be required for these assessments, we are moving towards the West. We are slowly moving towards the West. Where are there paper and pen tests anymore, anywhere? Everything is online. Why should we be left behind? It's high time that we also take the plunge and make sure that our students are also being assessed in the right kind of manner. Right skills, right aptitudes, right kind of understanding, the comprehension that the child will be able to apply is absolutely more necessary than five answers to be learned, memorized, and just put it on paper without really understanding the whole concept. So things are changing for the better. Vibgyor has been able to do that beautifully. I know there have been some other schools who have still been struggling towards it, mainly because there were no digital um, tools available for the same. But I'm sure with this new blended learning, this new way of going forward, those will definitely come and we will all be able to use them in a much better manner. Just like training our students from kindergarten, you know, right from those junior KG and senior KG, as if they are ready to give the competitive exams from then on. That is, we have to change the whole cycle of assessment, and we have been able to achieve it. If somebody would have told us to do it, we probably would have taken ages to do it. But now, because the shift is there, the assessment shift is also there, beautifully done. It only has to go forward, of course, in a much, much systematic manner. That is, which is very, very important. And many schools need to be equipped for the same, and slowly I'm sure everyone will be able to do it. So this new change of evaluation is actually a blessing, that our students will be able to compete with not only just India but everywhere around the world, because that is where they are all going to be shortly. Thank you, Vivek.
Definitely, ma'am. We are, due to this first measure, we are moving from wrong way of evaluation to the right way of evaluation. Even I agree
Absolutely,
to that.
absolutely.
And
Yes.
that's how
It's
we are
high time
going
we
to
do
take it
the
up.
right way of evaluation. It's high time we do the right way of evaluation, because that is ultimately going to count, and that is ultimately going to make the child who's slowly going to be an adult to stand where he or she really is wanting to be.
Right, ma'am. We had such a great conversation. We did not realize that we have already passed 1 hour. So, thank you all for joining us. And before winding up, the last part, kindly give your message for the students, parents, and our viewers. Gunjan, ma'am, I'll start with you. Your message for our students, parents, and viewers, please.
So I would say the motto of our school is celebrate learning. And what I want is that all children across the country, across the globe should celebrate their learning years, and may life and education become a celebration for them.
Thank you, ma'am. Vandana, ma'am, your concluding message for our students, parents, and viewers.
We are moving. Yes, my message would be we are stepping into a techno-driven, phase. So let's be with this, and I would say yes. Let's be very positive and hope for this situation to come under control, and let's children come back, so that everything will fall into its place. And happy learning to everyone. Uh, let God bless each one of us, and we will come out with miracle after getting back to the schools. Yes, thank
Thank you
you.
so much, ma'am. Gursimran, ma'am, your message, please.
Yes, my message to all my dear parents, students, and viewers is the road ahead is beautiful. We all can go along holding each one's hand. We have to make sure that we as a team go ahead with happiness, with learning, overcoming every obstacle in our way, making sure that we reach to the ends of the horizon, but most important, together. Because when we help one another, we empower one another. My dear parents, your trust in the school shall remain and keep you positive and make you feel optimist about the whole thing. My dear students, you are the 21st century students who are all ready to jump, to fly in the sky. The limits, there is no limit. It is limitless for you. You can achieve anything that you want. And my dear teachers are all here to support and help you with whatever you wish to achieve. The road is bright and beautiful ahead. We only need to see the bright, the beautiful, the welcoming that will help us go over everything. The pandemic, I feel, has been a boon in disguise. We have learned so many new ways of doing everything. The bonds that we have created during this time are going to be everlasting. The only reason that you need is to hold on to these bondings, and then you will be able to fly. Thank you. Have a very, very happy, prosperous, successful road ahead. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Gunjan
Thank you.
ma'am. Thank you, Vandana ma'am. Lovely
Thank you,
session.
ma'am.
Thoroughly enjoyed today.
Thank you
Yes.